to the World of Wrestling podcast. I'm Slim. Once again, Carl could not join us. We're hoping he'll be back very soon. I still haven't found anyone to join me in these yet, but we'll see what happens next week. However, this is the last week that the channel will be known as Triple JKYT. We will rebrand to The Locker Room. So I just wanted to get this episode out because it's got Money in the Bank before we were rebranded. So I guess we'll kick it off with Money in the Bank. So on the pre-show, we start with Jeff Hardy versus Cesaro. It was a really good match. Jeff was always going to win, obviously, because it's his return. But even still, it was really good and really fun. Few points it looked like Cesaro might win, but then he didn't because Jeff won by pinfall after hitting the Swanton Bomb. We'll go on to the main show, which started with the Fatal 4-Way match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. New Day defended against the Forgotten Sons, the Miz and Morrison, and the Lucha House Party. It was a really good and fun match. Lots happened, so go and watch it. New Day ended up winning though by pinfall after hitting the big ending on Grand Metalik. Again, it was Big E just hitting his finisher to pick up the win, which makes me think that maybe Kofi and Woods are going to be in the tag team title picture while E goes on for a singles title. I don't know. But Woods has to get better anyway. But yeah. We then get what we thought was going to be R-Truth versus MVP. But before the match, Lashley came out and MVP let him take his spot in the match. It was a squash match for Lashley, but it was very fun because truth is truth and truth is great. He just kept on trying to leave, but Lashley wouldn't let him. And then got speared for the win for Lashley. It was quite fun. We get a video package of sports people honouring frontline health workers. I think that will be one of the last times I mention that because it happens every show. So, yeah. After that, we get Bayley with Sasha versus Tamina for the SmackDown Women's title. Wasn't that good. Wasn't that bad either, but yeah, it was alright. Bayley won by pinfall after Sasha distracted Tamina, and Bayley got Tamina on a crucifix. After the match, Sasha attacked Tamina. Like I said, it wasn't great. It was alright. So we'll move on to the Universal title match, which was Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt. It didn't go down the way I thought it was going to, which really cost me in the predictions. We'll talk about that after we finish running the bank. So the Universal Championship match was pretty good and pretty fun, but yeah, it didn't go the way that I thought it was. Braun ended up winning after hitting a running power slam. The way it all went down after the match makes it seem like the Fiend is coming for Bray, but I don't know. We get Rollins versus McIntyre next for the WWE title. It was a really good match. Drew won after hitting Claymore. It was good. After the match, Rollins and Drew shook hands. I better mention now that during the night we got promos from the people in the Money in the Bank ladder matches, men and women. They were all pretty much saying that they're going to win. So, yeah. But we'll move on to the main event, which is both the ladder matches taking place at the same time. The superstars fought everywhere. The men started in the gym, the women started at the front door. The main places that they fought were the cafeteria, where Paul Heyman and John Laurinaitis were, the conference room, the Money in the Bank conference room, where Dana Brooke thought she had won the briefcase because there was a briefcase hanging on the roof. But Steph showed up and told her it's not the real one. So then Carmella put a picture of Carmella on Dana's neck. Bryan and Styles fought into Vince's office. Vince looked at them, told them to get out. They did. They got out. Went, oh, okay. And Styles sort of went, we need to put the chairs back. Vince won't be happy with us if we don't put his chairs back. So they both walked in there, put the chairs back, walked back out. They were just talking to each other. Like Styles is going to, like, you were such a wimp in there. And then Bryan sort of goes, you're the one that made us go and put the chairs back. Yeah, fair enough. Then they start fighting. They fought into the toilets where Brother Love was, which was funny. They finally got to the roof. Carmella, Baszler, and Dana didn't end up showing up at all for this implant, which was weird. I should also mention that in the cafeteria they had a food fight. So Shayna, Mella, and Dana didn't show up. Asuka ended up winning the women's briefcase after Nia and Lacey were taken out, and she also had to knock Corbin off the ladder because for some reason Corbin tried to stop her from getting the briefcase. It was weird. So she knocked Corbin off the ladder and then took the briefcase, and everyone left after that. It was just the men left. But then Corbin sent Ray and Aleister Black off the roof. It was onto a second roof, which you can actually see when it does its wide shots. But yeah. So now it's just Corbin, Styles, Otis, and Bryan left. Otis, when he tried to climb the ladder, broke the ladder's rungs off. Bryan let get taken out. Styles and Corbin were both up there. They unhooked the briefcase together, so nobody had won. Then Elias showed up, whacked Corbin in the back with his guitar, and that pushed him into Styles and made Corbin fall off the ladder. And Styles fumbled the briefcase, so he never had complete control over it. When he fumbled it, he dropped it, and Otis bloody caught it. Which means that Otis got full control of the briefcase, making him the winner. I'll just start the show really. It was a really good show, and I liked it. It was 3.5 hours long or something, 3 or 4 hours, 3.5, 4.5, somewhere around there. That's how long it was, including pre-show, I should say. I did lose the predictions championship because of it, because if you've seen last week's episode, I didn't quite get them all right because Baszler didn't even show up to the roof to win the women's briefcase. Aleister Black got tossed off the roof, so he couldn't win the briefcase. Bray didn't turn into the Fiend, so I lost that one. And everybody lost the R-Truth MVP match because MVP didn't compete. But yeah, it was fine, really. Sucks that I'm not champion anymore though. Really sucks. But I'll win it back and I'll be an 11-time champion. That's cool. We'll move on to Raw, and we start the show by looking at the Money in the Bank ladder matches. And then the show properly starts with the commentary team running down the show before Becky comes out to confront Asuka. But Becky doesn't come out with a belt, and instead the women's Money in the Bank briefcase, which was a little bit weird. I was there going, hey, that's weird. Becky starts talking. It sounds like she's starting to cry, or she's crying or something. And she says that the fans always had her back, and that's why she needs to tell everyone that she has to go away for a while. Asuka comes out pissed, rightfully, because obviously Becky stole the briefcase, so she came out saying, "That's mine." And Becky says that, yeah, it is. She also says that there was a combination lock that she put on it, and the Money in the Bank ladder match was actually for the Raw Women's Championship, so Asuka's now the champ. Asuka then dances everywhere, including on top of the commentary desk. Becky announces that she's pregnant, and Asuka starts a Becky chant. Going to say Becky starts an Asuka chant. No. We then go backstage. Rey, Natalya, The Profits, Bianca Belair, Ricochet, Kairi Sane, Tozawa, Truth, and a whole lot of others congratulate Becky. We then get a recap of what's been happening with Lashley, and we get Lashley versus Humberto Carrillo in a no DQ match. It was an okay match. Lashley won with the full Nelson, which is, I guess it makes sense because he was the first person to break out of the master lock, so he's got a better one. And if you can hear the dogs barking, then usually I film this when the dogs aren't here, but I had no choice this week. It'll be back to no dogs next week though. But we'll move on with Raw, and the Profits are talking about going to play basketball with the Raiders. The Raiders say that they're better than the Profits at everything. Both teams say that they're going to win. Then backstage, Asuka has an interview where she doesn't answer the question, and her and Kairi celebrate her winning the belt. We then get a recap of the Edge and Orton match at Mania. Then we also have a look at Cruz getting injured. And then we have a look at Andrade, Garza, Theory, and Vega having an argument. And then we get Akira Tozawa and Angel Garza, and have already started. We're doing the break, come back, and they'd already started the match. The match was okay for what we saw of it. Garza won by pinfall after the wing clipper while staring down Theory. After the match, they keep arguing. McIntyre comes out. Andrade and Angel Garza send Austin Theory into a Claymore kick. Then McIntyre claymores Garza out of the ring. And then we get Andrade versus McIntyre. It was a good match. Drew won by pinfall with the Claymore. Post-match, Drew cuts a promo saying he didn't come out for a match, but he had one anyway. He also says that Rollins brought it at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Drew also says that there's now a brand-to-brand invitational allowing Raw guys to go to SmackDown and SmackDown guys to come to Raw. And next week we're getting Baron Corbin versus Drew McIntyre. Well, I should say King Corbin. But no. But another quick thing before we move on is that Austin Theory is meant to be going back down to NXT. That's why he got Claymore this week. To set up the faction breaking up and him going back to NXT. But anyway, after that, we see MVP talking to Lashley, who says the last time Lashley took on the WWE champ, no, it was a long time ago, the last time he took on the WWE champ. It was 2007. So, over 10 years, I know that Lashley hasn't been there for all that, but MVP's got a point. MVP then leaves and tells Lana to tell Lashley that if he wants a way out from me with Lana to go and find MVP. We then get a moment of bliss, and the guests are the returning Iconics, which is awesome. The Iconics then challenge Bliss and Cross to a match, and we get it straight away. It was a decent match, and the Iconics won it after they hit a reverse Magic Killer, and Peyton gets a pin on Bliss, which then set up a tag team match for the for the women's tag titles on next week's episode. Backstage, we have an interview with Ray, and he says that last night his life flashed before his eyes when he was tossed off the roof. Rollins walks up and Ray congratulates him. Rollins says nothing and does nothing. But then we go to Truth, who's backstage talking about teaming up with Ricochet and Cedric, and says he has another partner, Pretty Ricky, and it's just Truth with buck teeth and he's cross-eyed. And we then get Pretty Ricky / R-Truth, Ricochet and Cedric Alexander taking on Shane Thorne, Brendan and MVP. Cedric, Ricochet and Truth win after Truth hits a live scepter and pins MVP. Post-match, Lashley shows up, spears Truth, then using the full Nelson, and then he turns around and says MVP. Oh yeah, that's right, he had him so that MVP could talk to Truth, then watch him go so that they can both start talking. I guess that he's going to be a part of the faction. Backstage interview with Jinder Mahal next, and Mahal says that he's going to be WWE champion, but this time he's going to be a hero. We then get Baszler, who gives a reaction to Becky being pregnant. She says, Becky's stupid and the kid is going to suck because Rollins is the father. Quite funny. We then see AJ Styles sitting down to watch the sneak peek at Undertaker's Last Ride documentary. We then see that AJ's annoyed with what he saw and throws popcorn at the TV. Backstage we see Becky talking to Vince. We then get Ray and Black versus Rollins and Murphy. Rollins, once again, says nothing, does nothing, or anything. He just stands there like a shell. He stays like that until the end when Ray hits him, and then Rollins decides to attack Ray. He attacks him so bad that it causes DQ, so Ray and Black win. After the match, Rollins takes Black out, then pushes the point of the steel steps into the eye of Rey Mysterio. Back from break, and Rollins and Murphy show up to apologise, but Black and Murphy get into a fight. And we now get the basketball game between Profits and Raiders. It was a pretty funny segment that had the Profits win. I believe that they got like 75 points or something, and the Raiders got 2 and 19 fouls. And then the Raiders turned around and said, yeah, we're still better than you because we let you win. And then Ivar starts hitting a whole bunch of threes, and then runs up and dunks it, and the Profits are left standing there going, what the hell? Backstage, Natalya has a go at Baszler for what she said to Becky, well, what she said about Becky, not to Becky. Post-basketball game, both teams shake hands, say that, yeah, that's right. And then, yeah, they say they let the Profits win, and whatever else. So, yeah, that's right. They did the basketball game, cut to Natty, and then cut back to a basketball game. It's main event time now, and it's Baszler versus Natalya. It was an okay match. Baszler won after a knee strike. She pinned her to nearly kill her food. Post-match, Natalya throws a tantrum. Backstage, we get an interview with Corbin. Corbin says that Black and Ray he knew that Black and Ray would land on a secondary roof. Corbin also says next week he's going to beat McIntyre. And then to close the show, we get Edge and Orton coming face to face. Edge says that he's moving on from Orton before Orton interrupts. Orton says that he came out to say one thing, and that was congratulations for winning at Mania. Orton then leaves, and then came back, and said that it's true that the better man won, but the better wrestler didn't. Orton says that he doesn't think Edge has it in him to compete in a wrestling match. given that he came back in the Royal Rumble, which isn't a proper wrestling match, and then had a last man standing, which also is a proper wrestling match. Orton says that if Edge has the guts, then it's Edge versus Orton in a singles match at Backlash. Edge doesn't say anything. We'll move on to AEW Dark now. It's a massive night for Dark with 9 matches and goes for over an hour. I did try to introduce every match differently, so let's see how I go. I reckon I got it. First match of Dark is Shawn Dean versus Colt Cabana. It was a decent match. Colt won it with the Superman pin. The next match is Mike Reed and Ryan Rembrandt versus the Jurassic Express with Marco Stunt. It was a decent match. Jurassic Express won by pinfall after they hit the assisted cutter, and Luchasaurus pins Reed. Up next is Lee Johnson and Musa versus Private Party. It was a pretty good match. Private Party won by pinfall after a series of double team moves, and Glenn hits a shooting star press for the 3. We then get John Cruz versus 10, aka Preston Vance. It was a squash match. 10 won by pinfall after a spine buster. Post match, Mr. Brody comes out and gave 10 a round of applause. After that, we get Ellen Angels. Is it Angels or Angels? It might be Angels. Ellen Angels, whatever it is. Versus Phoenix. Really, really good match. Phoenix won by pinfall after a bunch of springboard moves and hits the spinning muscle buster, which I believe he calls the Kaneka Man Buster for the 3 count. Then it's Danny Jordan versus Chris Statlander. Good match. Statlander wins by pinfall after hitting the Big Bang Theory. Bugger. Up next is Jason Cade versus Orange Cassidy. So that's a repeat. Orange Cassidy has best friends with him. It was a typical Orange match. Pretty funny. Orange won with the leg hook crucifix. Another match is next, and it's Skylar Moore versus Dr. Britt Baker of D&D. Decent match. Britt won by submission with lockjaw. Main event time, and it's Luther versus Jimmy Havoc with Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford in a no DQ match. Pretty good match. Havoc won by pinfall after Ford threw water on Luther. Then Kip launched a chair at his head. Then Havoc wins with the Fisherman DDT for the 3. We move on to Dynamite. The show starts with Lance Archer and Jake Snake talking. Robert says that he has been asked to apologise to Brandy, and he says that he will when she kisses his ass. While Roberts is talking, Cody shows up in his shitbox Ford because Hogan's better, and Cody and Archer brawl. They then go back and forth until Roberts tells Archer it's time to leave. Then commentary runs down the card, and we have a look at the AEW tag team scene. And then the first match of the night is the Best Friends with Orange Cassidy versus Jurassic Express with Marco Stunt. It was a pretty good match. Best Friends won by pinfall after Chuck Taylor hits the awful waffle on Jungle Boy, which happened after the ref was distracted with a knockout Orange when Phoenix kicked his head off. And while the ref was distracted, MJF attacked Jungle Boy, sent him into the ring post, threw him back in the ring. Post-match, Wardlow attacks Marco Stunt, and Luchasaurus squares up Wardlow, who gets held back by MJF. Moving on, commentary talks about Moxley being the champ without the belt, because Brody Lee stole it. They say that Mox is arriving now. Alex Marvez tries to get an interview with Mox, but Moxley just hits the camera out of his face and keeps walking. We now get a Fatal 4 match between Penelope Ford, Hikaru Shida, Britt Baker, and Chris Statlander. Good match. Sheeta won by pinfall after hitting a running knee on Ford, while Baker had Statlander in the lockjaw on the outside. Post-match, Baker refuses to let go of the lockjaw, and Nyla is in the crowd holding up the belt at Sheeta. Pineapple Pete then has a promo saying that he is embracing the name Pineapple Pete, and later tonight there will be no more insults. Up next is Proud and Powerful, also known as Santana and Ortiz. They're representing the Inner Circle, versus Kenny Omega and Matt Hardy. While Omega is making his entrance, Santana and Ortiz attack Omega. As Matt makes his entrance, he takes on Santana. It was a great match. Omega and Hardy won by pinfall after Matt hits Twisted Fate on Ortiz for the win. However, during the match, Sammy Guevara came down with a chair and he was wearing a neck brace from being run over last week. And Matt kicked the chair out of his hand and hit Twisted Fate on Sammy as well. Backstage, Taz talks to Darby Allin and he says he's sorry about bringing up Darby's loss to Cody, and again says that he can help, but Darby cuts him off, saying that he knows what went wrong before leaving. Commentary runs down the casino ladder match for Double or Nothing, then sends us backstage to an interview with Hikaru Shida. She is asked what her expectations on going into the match. What her expectations are going into the match with Nyla. Shida says she's going to beat Nyla for the belt. Before Nyla shows up, whacks her in the head with her kendo stick. The next match is MJF with Wardlow versus Lee Johnson. It was a squash match for MJF. He wins by submission with the Fujiwara armbar. Post-match, MJF says his peers don't know how to react to a pro wrestler. He also says that he's excited for his match with Jungle Boy, but to get rid of all of his ring rust, it's been out for a little while. Next week, he's going to verse Marco Stunt. Now, it's Pineapple Pete versus Chris Jericho with the rest of the Inner Circle and a baseball bat. It was a good fun match. Pete takes Jericho, and as he goes for a third corner clothesline, Jericho hits Judas Effect for a 3 count. It was a squash match. Post-match, Jericho challenges the Elite to a Stadium Stampede match at Double or Nothing. Vanguard 1 brings back Jericho's Inner Circle shirt that he gave him. Jericho asks if Vanguard will join the Inner Circle, but then Jericho turns around and says it's too late because the Inner Circle already has a 6th member, and it's Floyd, the baseball bat. And they destroy Vanguard 1. Matt Hardy then comes out and picks up the pieces of Vanguard 1, and he is pissed. We then see the attack of the Dark Order on Moxley last week before commentary runs down next week's card. Main event time, and it's Christopher Daniels with the rest of the SCU versus Mr. Brody Lee with 10, who has a steel chair. Lee comes out wearing Moxley's title as well. It was a good match. Lee won by pinfall after a distance clothesline. During the match, a couple of creepers tried to interfere, but the other members of SCU and Colt Cabana took them out. Lee kicked out at 1 from a Angel's Wings, and he also kicked out of a BME, but he was standing when the BME was hit. Post-match, Mox shows up and starts taking out the creepers. Lee even sends a creeper to Mox while he and 10 leave. 10 has the belt. Moxley gets mic'd saying that he wants his title back. We'll move on to NXT now, and the show starts with a recap of the NXT Women's and the NXT Championship matches from last week. We also get a video package for the NXT Tag Title match tonight. Matter of fact, that's up next because we kick the show off with the NXT Tag Team title match between Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher versus Imperium's Marcel Bartel and Fabian Aichner. It was a good match. Towards the end, Riddle monkey flips Barthel into Thatcher, and Thatcher leaves it making it 2-on-1. Riddle tries to fight back, but eventually gets hit with the European Bomb, and Imperium win. Imperium's the new NXT Tag Champs now. It's only Wolf that didn't have a title. Backstage, Thatcher is asked why he left Riddle. He says Riddle does stupid stuff. Riddle came to the back and they got into a brawl. Up next is Tegan Nox vs Indy Hartwell. It was a decent match. Nox won by pinfall after hitting the Chinese Wizard. We then have a recap of what happened during the women's title match last week. We also get an interview with Rhea saying she's going to take the title back from Charlotte. Back from break, Riddle finishes FaceTiming Regal and says Regal gave him a match with Timothy Thatcher tonight, and Thatcher shows up and attacks Riddle. We then have a Cruiserweight Championship tournament match between Jake Atlas and Tony Nese. It was a decent match. Atlas won by pinfall after hitting the cartwheel DDT. And then we get a Zoom meeting between the Undisputed Era. It starts off with Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole before Bobby Fish shows up. Then Roderick Strong also shows up. They talk about the NXT title match last week. They also say that Roddy will take out Dexter Lumis. We then get a promo package for Karrion Kross and Scarlett. And then we get a promo package for Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Swerve then has a backstage interview where he says he'll beat Gallagher tonight, and if he couldn't get a single win in the tournament, he'll quit wrestling. So in other words, he's having it about Tony Nese. DX is backstage now, and it's Hunter, Heartbreak, and Road Dogg. That's the three. Puck's not there, and Billy Young's over in AEW, so he's not there either. So DX backstage, they announce NXT In Your House on June 7th, or 8th in Australia. We then get Finn Balor versus Cameron Grimes. Pretty good match. Grimes wins by pinfall after hitting the cave-in, which only happened after Damian Priest showed up, used the nightstick behind the ref's back on Balor. After the match, Priest hits the Reckoning on top of the steel chair and admits to attacking Balor a couple of weeks ago. Then we get another interim Cruiserweight Championship tournament match between Gallagher and Swerve. Before the match, Nese attacks Swerve. It was a decent match. Gallagher won by pinfall after a spinning elbow. Next, we get Caden Carter versus Aaliyah. It was okay. Carter won by submission after locking in the Indian Death Hot. Then we get Gargano and LeRae eating tea, and they cut a promo like they did the other week. But this time they talk about the matches they've had recently. Gargano says that Keith Lee is nothing. Candice says that Mia doesn't deserve anything. They then say that they will take on Keith Lee and Mia Yim. And it's main event time, which is Matt Riddle versus Timothy Thatcher. Pretty good match. Riddle won by pinfall after he reversed an ankle lock into a pin for the 3 count. Post-match, Thatcher attacked Riddle and knocked in the Fujiwara armbar multiple times. And we'll move on to NXT UK. This week's NXT UK has superstars choosing their favourite matches of all time. First person to choose is Eddie Dennis, and he picks Owen Hart versus British Bulldog to crown the inaugural European champion. Second person is Candy Floss. She chooses Paige versus AJ Lee for the Divas champion. It's also Paige's debut. Third person is Primate. He chooses Dave Mastiff versus Jordan Devlin from a previous episode of NXT UK. And the last person is Trent Seven, and he chooses Mustache Mountain versus the Undisputed Era for the NXT Tag Team Championships at the NXT UK Tournament 2, Night 2. And that was that for NXT UK. We'll move on to SmackDown. The show starts with a recap of the Money in the Bank ladder matches. Then the show kicks off with Miz TV with both Miz and Morrison as they're doing the introduction. Otis interrupts them. Miz congratulates Otis on winning the Money in the Bank. They then talk about Otis's life and they ask if Otis is pregnant, and they say that he should relinquish the briefcase if he's pregnant. Miz says that Otis is using the briefcase as a lunchbox because he is. He then also says that he has a problem with Otis. Miz challenges Heavy Machinery to a tag match, but Otis says Tucker can't be here. So Miz says that Otis just needs to find a partner there. We then have a look at the Intercontinental Championship tournament brackets, which are on the left side, Bryan versus Gulak and Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. On the right side, it's Elias versus Corbin and Nakamura versus Styles, which is going to be awesome. We then get a first round match in the IC Championship tournament, which is Corbin versus Elias. Before the match, we look at the rivalry between Corbin and Elias. It was a pretty good match. Elias won by pinfall after Corbin got Elias's guitar and smashed it into the ring post. Got back in the ring, only to be hit with a jumping knee and a schoolboy pin. Otis is then shown backstage where he asks Sheamus to be his tag partner. Sheamus declines. Back from break, and Mandy comes up to Otis and asks how he's doing. She also says that Otis should ask Braun Strowman to be his tag partner. The Hacker is on after that, and he says that he is the truth. So maybe it's our truth. It's the Hacker. No, it's Sandpiper. Otis then comes up to Braun and asks if he wants to be his partner. Braun says maybe. Up next is Naomi versus Dana Brooke. It was a nothing match. Dana won by sitting down in the wheelbarrow. It was like 5 minutes tops. Charlotte's out next and she says that she's the best before Bayley and Sasha interrupt. Bayley says the last time her and Charlotte saw each other, Bayley won the SmackDown Women's title. Charlotte says that Sasha made Bayley relevant when she was NXT Women's Champ, and now Sasha is the only reason Bayley's still got the SmackDown Women's Champ. Bayley challenges Charlotte to a match. Charlotte accepts. Charlotte then asks if Sasha wants to be Bayley's lackey and continue to be an afterthought. At some point around there, the commentary did also clarify the rules of the what they call it now, where they can go from Raw to SmackDown, SmackDown to Raw, whatever. They say that only 4 times a year can somebody go from Raw to SmackDown and SmackDown to Raw, which is a little bit weird because we had Charlotte on this week. We got Styles on next week. If Styles goes through with the tournament that he's on the week after, I'd say. So that's 3 already used. Charlotte's also on next week, so they'd be done. So that's all for the SmackDown. So that would mean over SmackDown most of the Raw, yes. Then after that, anyway, we get a backstage interview with Braun Strowman, who says he's thinking about Otis asking him to be his tag team partner. We then get a backstage segment with the Forgotten Sons, who says that they're going to beat people up. We then have a backstage interview with Miz and Morrison, who say Braun is stupid but not dumb enough to tag with Otis, because Otis is going to cash in. Now it's a first round match in the IC Championship tournament between Gulak and Bryan. Really, really good match. Bryan won by submission with a heel hook. Post-match interview with Bryan, who says he wants you to come over time back. Drew Gulak has also been released now too, so we're not going to see him versus Bryan anymore or been coming out with Brian Sonya and Mandy have a backstage interview. No, Sonya and Dolph have a backstage interview talking about Mandy. Don't know how I screwed that up. Sonya says next week that Dolph and her are going to humiliate Mandy and Otis. And my notes, right? Yeah. And Mandy's only good at being blonde and pretty, and she'll never be as good as Sonya. It's main event time, and Miz and Morrison versus Otis and Braun Strowman. Decent match, pretty fun. Braun and Otis won by pinfall after Strowman hit power slam on Morrison. During the match, Otis and Braun do a double caterpillar, which was funny and awesome and great. Post-match, Mandy came out to celebrate, and Otis pretends he was going to cash in on Braun. We move on to 205 Live, and the show starts with Tyler Breeze versus Tahiti Miles. It was a decent match. Breeze won by pinfall after hitting the Unprettier. Tahiti Miles seems to be a mixture of Velveteen Dream and Tyler Breeze, but in the way of 90% Velveteen Dream, 10% Tyler Breeze. Main event time, it's Tony Nese versus Jack Gallagher. It was a good match. Gallagher won by pinfall after hitting the rolling elbow. Post-match, Gallagher stands over Nese in the corner and says that they're not done. So that was this week in wrestling. It was a decent week. Money in the Bank was obviously on, and it was really good. I still can't believe I lost my predictions championship. And it wasn't even like there was a big ass tie at the top of the order. There was literally one person beat me, but it's okay. Going to win it back. Very soon, I'd say I'll be a 16-time or 17-time champion, which would make me better than CeeDee Blair. So, all in all, I'm quite happy. And yeah, as I said at the start of the video, we will change the name of this to The Locker Room next week. So, this will be the last time that I sign off from Triple J KYT. So, with saying that, I've been Slim, and goodbye.